Have you ever wondered why in every Hindu ritual, every puja, every wedding, every celebration, every new journey, the very first prayer is always to Lord Ganesha? This tradition comes from Sanatana Dharma, what the world often calls Hinduism, one of the oldest living traditions of wisdom and spirituality. In Sanatana Dharma, beginnings are sacred. It is believed that when you start something new, the right energy, the right blessings, and the removal of unseen obstacles are essential. That's why Ganesha, the Vignaharta, the remover of obstacles, is always invoked first. His name itself becomes a doorway to success and harmony. But how did Ganesha earn this special place to be worshipped before even the mighty gods? That's the story we'll hear today. This tale is beautifully narrated in the book Stories of Ganesha 2022 by Shubha Vilas, a storyteller, author, and spiritual teacher who retells ancient wisdom in simple, inspiring words. The book holds 32 timeless stories of Lord Ganesha, loved by critics for blending myth, philosophy, and practical values in a way both children and adults can enjoy. So now, let us listen to one of the most famous stories, why Ganesha is worshipped first. Long ago, in a house that smelled of sandalwood, turmeric and fresh flowers, where incense curled like thin white smoke and the lamps burned steady, lived Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. They sat together on a small, simple throne. Shiva's hair was knotted like a mountain peak, Parvati's sari shone like a lotus at dawn. Around them the world seemed calm and full of possibility. They had two sons. The elder son was Kartikeya. He was lithe and fierce and quick as a mountain wind. His mount was a proud peacock whose feathers fanned like a bright, living sail. Kartikeya's eyes shone with the joy of the chase and the discipline of a warrior. The younger son was Ganesha. He had a round, gentle belly and an elephant's head that made him look both wise and a little playful. At his feet sat a tiny mouse, quiet, clever, and obedient. Ganesha loved to sit quietly, listen, and think. He loved sweets, stories, and above all he loved his parents. One day a special thing came into the household, a single golden fruit unlike any other. It pulsed with a soft light. It was not an ordinary fruit, it was a fruit of deep blessing, a fruit that carried the taste of wisdom and the power of spiritual insight. Whoever ate it would gain a special measure of knowledge and blessing. Shiva and Parvati looked at one another, then at their sons. The fruit was only one. How should such a precious prize be given fairly? Shiva, being both playful and wise, proposed a test. He smiled in that slow, mountain way of his and said, "My sons, we shall make this into a challenge. Whoever circles the entire world 3 times and returns to this seat first shall receive the fruit." Ganesha stepped forward, and in his voice there was nothing loud, only a clear and steady kindness. "I have circled the world," he said. "But I did not move my feet around mountains and oceans. I circled the world by circling you. For me, the universe, all that is real and all that is dear, is in the love and care of my parents. To serve and honor them is to go around the world itself." Shiva and Parvati exchanged a look, not a look of competition, but of knowing. They saw courage in Kartikeya, the courage to run, to fight, to be brave. They also saw wisdom in Ganesha, the wisdom to understand what the world truly meant for him. Which was greater? The one who could move the fastest, or the one who could see the truest path? Shiva reached out and took Ganesha's hand. He placed the golden fruit in Ganesha's palm. "Because your heart sees the root of things," Shiva said, "and because you have shown devotion and right understanding, this fruit is yours." From that day, the gods and the people who watched learned a new habit. Before they began any important work, before a home was entered, before a book was opened, before a yajna or a journey, they would call upon Ganesha first. They called him to remove obstacles. They asked him to bless the path, to turn aside the stones and the doubts, to grant ease in beginnings. And so Ganesha became known as the one worshipped at the start, the remover of obstacles, the opener of doors, the gentle thinker who honors what matters most. Not because he was the strongest, not because he ran the fastest, because he understood where value begins, in love, respect, and clear sight. There is a quieter part of the story, too. People say that when Ganesha walks into a room, his mouse scurries ahead to find anything in the way and quietly moves it aside. When someone sets out on a new task, a new job, a new marriage, a new school, a new home, they whisper a small prayer to Ganesha. They ask for clarity, for steady feet, for the courage to choose well. And sometimes, when a person does not know where to begin, they remember Ganesha's choice, and they turn first to the simple circle, the circle of family, the circle of honor, the circle of what is loved. In that circle they find the world. So whenever a bell rings and a lamp is lit at the start of any undertaking, remember the soft wisdom of the child who circled his parents. Remember why, from that day forward, Ganesha is worshipped first. And that, dear listener, is why every ritual in Hinduism, or Sanatana Dharma, begins with Lord Ganesha. Not just as a formality, but as a living reminder, success does not come only from speed or power, it comes from wisdom, humility, and love for what truly matters. Just as Ganesha placed his parents at the center of his world, we too are reminded to place our values and relationships at the center of our lives. That is the essence of Sanatana Dharma. Aligning action with higher truth. If this story touched your heart, do like this video, share it with loved ones, and subscribe for more episodes from Stories of Ganesha. In the coming weeks, we'll explore many more tales, playful, profound, and inspiring. Until then, may Lord Ganesha bless all your beginnings, remove obstacles from your path, and guide you with wisdom.